industry, even the ridiculous fads that we see, because I feel like I hate being blindsided by that stuff when someone comes in on, it was something that they saw on the Today Show in the morning that I didn't see. So I try to keep a pulse on that. So I feel like I'm just trying to stay ahead of the story and let people know that, yes, ladies, you can handle more than a 2-pound dumbbell, because that comes up every year.
Welcome to the Optimum Human Podcast, the show that interviews the world's top experts in fitness, nutrition, mindset, and beyond. Let's get into the show.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Optimum Human Podcast. My name is Brian McKay, he's Claude Petroulis, and we are the hosts of the Optimum Human Podcast because I don't know if we're the Optimum Human or not. But anyways, today we've got... Sometimes? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'm
sometimes.
good with that. Anyways, today we've got another awesome guest, my good friend Jeff Nemeth, man. How the hell are you today?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
Fantastic, man. Claude?
Awesome.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Another nice day where it's cold outside in Canada here, but other than that, I'm okay. I'm just imagining I'm on a beach somewhere and it's not so bad.
It's funny, we live in these northern climates, and every year this happens, and in February we're all sitting here going, God, I wish I lived on a beach somewhere.
Yeah, well, why the hell do I still live here?
Right.
I ask myself that question every year.
Right.
Yeah. During the summer, it's fine. It's like, hey, you know what? Like, it's not so bad. And then winter comes, and you're like, oh, this was a bad choice.
Yeah, December, yay, snow. January, February, oh my God, kill me now.
Yeah, that 8 months of winter really gets you. But anyway.
Enough of the weather. A little chit-chat, a little light chit-chat.
Yeah, a little preamble. So, Jeff, for our listeners who are not aware of you or your work, who are you and what do you do? Why are you here? No, I'm joking.
I'm here because I wanted to meet the Optimum Humans. That's why.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well,
we're just the hosts of the podcast. You're not going to find the
We're still looking for,
here.
huh?
Yeah.
We're building them in Brian's basement right now.
Excellent. Well, I started off as a personal trainer in 2002, so I've been in the fitness business for a long time. And about probably getting close to a year ago now, I was suffering from what I thought was job burnout, and I was kind of ready to move on and change careers. And what I started to realize is that it wasn't so much job burnout. It was just that with fitness training, the way I was doing it and the way the industry is doing it, we're just scratching the surface of so many issues that people have. And it's why we have clients that come in and people that come in, we work with, we get results for them. They leave and then they bounce right back to their old habits. And there was just so much, it was such a big piece that I was missing in my business and with my clients and serving those clients. And I think it's a big piece that the industry is missing. And, I know Brian, we've met through mutual people online. Turns out we live pretty close to each other. And, I think our philosophies are pretty similar in that regard. So I've kind of in the last 9-12 months refocus my business on helping people's health and fitness, but also digging a little deeper and figuring out why the health and fitness is suffering. Because it's generally, that's generally a symptom of some other things that we can discover through the process of training and help people come through. And it's helping people live a better life is really why I got into this. And I just was kind of scratching the surface before. So I've kind of looked at everything that I've been doing and what the industry is doing and kind of just everything I see now. I think, what if we do something different? What if we flip that and we do the opposite? So that's who I am, and that's sort of my mission now.
Beautiful. So, you say flipping things upside down and doing the opposite. Now, what exactly does that mean to you?
So we come in and someone can come in and we can meet with them and we can write them a killer 30-day program, diet, training, everything that will get them the exact results they need over the next 30 days, or maybe it's 120 days or whatever it is. But if that doesn't fit into their lifestyle, if it's not something they can achieve, if they can actually they can't execute the plan, then I think we've kind of failed as coaches. And what we tend to do in that regard in the industry itself, and I know I've done a lot of this, is then we tell people they're making excuses. So, well, I gave you a great plan, you just didn't execute, you're making an excuse. I think that as coaches, we should be digging a little bit deeper in making sure that the plan we're coming up with is something that people can be successful at, and making sure that we're there in the first, second, third steps in that plan are all doable, so we create momentum for people and teach them about that and teach them that, look, you're going to run into a wall. After 2 or 3 weeks of motivation and excitement, like, this is not going to be exciting anymore, and you're going to struggle a little bit with some motivation. Like, this is what to do. Like, give them some strategies. Figure out what's going on. What kind of lifestyle do they lead? We can't give people, 4 hours of meal prep a week to do if they've got 5 kids at home and them and their spouse work. Like, this is not realistic.
Well, you got to get the 5 kids doing the meal prep, right?
I mean, they're ideally, yeah, hey. Indentured labor, indentured labor, right? But we think, I think that we have to dig deeper with people we're working with, and I think we have to carry that message to our audiences too, and to the world that, look, as an industry, we're kind of backwards, and in a lot of cases, we've been hurting more than we're helping. Now, a lot of the stuff I'm talking about doesn't really lend itself to selling neat ebooks and 30-day and cleanses and all that stuff.
No, it doesn't.
But I think that's why none of us got into this. So I think that we all have sort of a duty to speak out and look at what we're doing and take ownership of the stuff that we're doing that's not working, and stop just dumping it at the client's feet. That's the easy way out.
Absolutely, I agree 100%.
It's definitely true, and I find that it's very easy for trainers to say, all right, here's what to do, go do it, and then folks feel like they're completely alone, even though there's somebody there. They're just kind of pointing instead of guiding them. So, Jeff, what are some strategies that you use and that you use to help people?
Well, we come in and someone comes in, and we normally will do a readiness questionnaire where we see, medically, medications, physically, how they do, all that stuff. But the next step is to take a lifestyle questionnaire and see, what is their lifestyle like? Are they working? How many hours? What kind of schedule? How many kids are at home? What kind of activities are the kids are in? I have 3 kids, and between my wife and I, who also works, when we've got 3 kids and activities during the week, you're going to get very hectic during the week. So you have to help a client plan for that and let them know that, hey, look, I'm here for you. Here's the plan we're going to try out. But it's also flexible. Like, this is a plan that's going to be in flux. And, my favorite thing to tell people is, I'm not sure, but we'll find out, and I had someone message me on Facebook last week, and he, gave me a scenario, and it was one I hadn't dealt with before. So I said, let's jump on a call. And, he said, okay, well, can you help me? I said, I think so, but until I have some more information, I don't know. So with people, helping them take a step back and look at their lifestyle, helping them take a step back and look at how they're planning everything from their evenings to their mornings. Are they setting themselves up for success? Are there a few minor tweaks that you could help them make to get a little bit more sleep or be more organized in the evenings? All of those things that we have the ability to do. And I think a lot of times as fitness people, we feel like we're overstepping our bounds, or sometimes fitness people are just lazy and don't want to get into that with people. So, I think that everything from how you sleep, when you sleep, how you wake up, everything really falls into play, and it shows up in your body.
Totally. Agreed. It's not just the hour you spend inside the gym. It's the 23 outside that really make or break you.
Yeah, and we've got, we may have a client where we get, we may see someone at most 3 or 4 hours out of a week, and then the rest of the time they're on their own. So we need to help them structure that as people that have walked through where they are and know what they're going through. We have to first learn where they are and then help them structure, that morning. Help them. Maybe there's a morning routine that we can help them structure. Maybe they need to. Maybe they would be benefited by some different techniques and meditations or something like that can help them think more clearly and be more calm, and then they'll be able to plan more effectively. There's a lot of things that we could look to that are outside of the normal. Okay, we're going to do squats today. What kind of training split are we going to do? What kind of a food plan are you on? Those are all important, but what lies beneath it and what beyond it is also very important.
Definitely. And I'm wondering about your own personal history. How did you get into fitness?
I'm the sort of person that when I start doing something, I just tend to doing a lot of it. So
an all or nothing personality.
You got it.
Yeah, yep. I can relate.
Yeah, so I started getting into it because I got out of college and I had a corporate job and I was working and I was sick and I would just I was tired and sick and I had a gym membership I wasn't using. So I went and I thought, all right, I'm going to start working out at the gym. And I was an athlete in high school, so I figured this will be easy. It's just working out. Like, what the hell? That's not hard. So I went to the gym and I still remember the first day I walked in, there was like this jungle of metal and vinyl and steel, and I remember looking at everything and knowing everything had a purpose, and I just didn't know what it was. So my first workouts were I would find something that had a seat and handles that appeared simple to use, and that's what I would do. And then I was doing it, and I would watch other people do stuff, and I would think, I can try to do that. And those were my first workouts. And then I started to get a little more sophisticated. I bought some terrible magazines that were full of workouts for steroid abusers, and I tried those and I got nowhere but really sore. And then I started tinkering on my own. I started to get some results and started to learn some. And I always go back to that first time that I walked into a gym, and I always wanted to help people not feel that way when they walked into a gym, because I know how intimidating it was. And I thought, I'm probably more comfortable than the average person, or feel like I should be because of my athletic background. But being able to walk in and do that, I always wanted to help as many people as possible not feel that way when they walked into a gym.
Yeah, well, I mean, hitting a baseball or throwing a football is completely different than walking into a room of equipment that you really don't have a clue what the hell it's for.
It still cracks me up that I thought that it wasn't, though, that in my mind it's all the same. And yeah, I can throw a baseball, so sure, I can go in and let me bang this out. And this is no problem. Right. Totally unrelated, but that was the way it started.
Yeah, as fitness professionals, we really sometimes lose touch with how scary it can be for first-timers.
Yeah, I mean, it's intimidating, and I always go back. I try to remind myself before I'm meeting a new client that this is probably meeting with me, or even picking up the phone to call or send an email, is probably at minimum the fifth or sixth thing they've tried. Like, no one goes, I'm gonna get in shape, I'm gonna go get a trainer. They try a magazine, or they try an online program, or they buy P90X, or there's something. There's 3 or 4 things they go through first.
They definitely have to buy the Fit Tee.
Oh, you've got to. I mean, come on.
If the Fit Tee doesn't work, last chance is probably lipo, or who knows.
There's a million things you got to do, but picking up that phone or reaching out is in some people's cases, it's like a massive act of courage in and of itself. People that have great lives and great jobs and families and can operate seamlessly in other areas of their life, it's very intimidating to pick up a phone or send an email or however, reach out to someone and say, I need help in this area of my life. And so I always try to remember that. It's an intimidating thing, like you said.
Yeah. I just want to say this real quick to our listeners, or at least, this is something that I have found, and generally I have, just like you described. If I go into something, I'm going to go and kind of dabble in it and try to figure things out on my own. And one of the things I've learned through this industry is just the importance of going and learning how to do things properly from a professional from the get-go. That way, the professional doesn't have to undo, poor behavior, poor form, whatever else it may be. And I really think that this translates to every area of our lives. I don't know if that resonates with you at all, Jeff and Claude, but
it does. You can cut down the learning curve, and you can sort of eliminate all those beginner mistakes and intermediate mistakes from people that have already done it and been trained on how to do it.
Yeah, and frankly, I mean, hiring a professional is not the cheapest, but generally in the long run, it will save you a hell of a lot of money in the long run.
Yeah, and also your health too. I mean, like, I'd love to go on YouTube and find out how to do dental procedures on myself, but
Don't worry, Claude. I'll do those for you, buddy.
Oh, thanks, man. Honestly, like hiring a professional, just like how I'm not that good with cars, I'll take it into the mechanic. That's that person's job to help me with that. And
I mean, I'm a complete moron with cars, and my dad understands them and does all of this stuff with them, and he's like, we'll just do this and this and this, and I'm like, it's like could be in a different language. I'm like, what? I don't even know what that is.
Are you casting a spell? What are you doing right now?
My dad turned into a wizard.
A wrench for a wand.
Yeah, so but that learning curve, doing it right the first time, doing it, and especially as we get older. I mean, I know I was talking to someone yesterday. We're watching the Super Bowl. Not to date your episode here, but Super Bowl was on last night, and watching Tom Brady get slammed around the field. He's a year younger than I am, and I'm like, man, that hurts. I know it's gonna hurt.
Right.
I'm not getting tackled by 300-pound men, but I know how your body responds to physical activity at age 40 versus age 25, and there's a big difference there. That's a big thing, and those aches and pains get worse as you age. And if you're trying to exercise the way you learned when you were 20 or 22 or 25 even, like, you're going to put yourself in a world of hurt at some point. It's going to be sooner than later.
Yeah, that's a very valid point.
Yeah, your joints will not like you're trying to squat 400 pounds, getting back after 15 years off the squat rack.
Yeah, because you did it, back then. So your brain is still thinking, I've only had a little layoff or a decade and a half,
It's true. We laugh, and it's absolutely true. I mean, it's...
Yeah, for us, we laugh because we've seen it so often. It's kind of silly, but for the person going in, they're absolutely convinced that they've still got it.
Yeah, I was an athlete in high school. Well, yeah, that was 18 years ago.
Or more in my case, yeah. And absolutely, yeah. It's one of those things that mentally you don't age the way you do physically. So to sit there and it's another thing that when you're talking with a client, when you're talking with someone that's looking to get back into it after a layoff, you have to kind of assess where they are mentally and ask some questions and dig in a little bit to see if they're thinking that they're ready for the CrossFit national finals when they haven't been off the couch in 6 years.
Yeah,
I played college ball. Okay, well, yeah, you're 40 now.
Right.
So
how long ago was college?
Right.
We got some other stuff to deal with.
But, I mean, it reminds me of an idea. I think it was I originally heard it from Dan Hellman, and he basically said, physical therapists have to go through 8 years of schooling to work with people that use pink dumbbells and stretchy bands, whereas a personal trainer, you go through a 2-week online course and you get to load somebody up on with 400 pounds on their back, and like that just doesn't add up.
Yeah, there's a disconnect there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all wish we could speak better of the personal training and fitness industry, but the barrier of entry is so low. That's why you have so much crap in there and people that are just probably not with ill intent, but just
no. I would
ignorant,
definitely say that. Yeah, absolutely.
And frighteningly ignorant.
And to be frank, it can be a bit of a tough industry, and there tends to be a relatively high amount of turnover. So.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a lot to learn, and I look at some trainers sometimes that are probably new, 3 months on the job, and I'm looking at them teach a kettlebell swing or a squat, and I'm just like worried for this client's knees or back or just the rest of their body and soul. And I just have to remember, like there is a lot to learn, in this industry. And if somebody doesn't know that, what is it? The wise man knows that he's not wise. Like, yes. It's like, if you don't know that you're lacking something, you're going to think everything's okay. Right. And your clients are going to pay the price. So there definitely needs to be a higher barrier of entry to entry. Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I remember the first time that I learned how to do a kettlebell swing. It was a Sunday morning workshop that went for 4 hours, and we did kettlebell swings. That was it. There was nothing else, and it was a matter of and this was for fitness professionals, people that had good movement patterns, and it was drilling it over and over and over again. And I see so many people picking up those kettlebells and just using them wrong now. And I mean, I'm not a kettlebell certified trainer. I'm comfortable teaching 2 or 3 movements with kettlebells, and beyond that, I won't do it because I'm not comfortable in my ability to coach it. But also, I mean, I won't coach a swing with people if they can't do a hip hinge properly. Not to get all technical, but you know, there's people that aren't able to, set their hips properly and engage their posterior chain, and they want to learn how to swing. They want to do kettlebell cleans, and I'm like, nope. Not so you can stand there and touch the wall with your butt and keep your spine straight, and I'm like, somebody else will teach you that, but I won't. So, like you said, knowing what you don't know and being confident enough to tell that to a client, saying, look, I know that's what you want, but we have to do A, B, and C first. And it's you may not feel that this week or next month or next year, but 10 years down the road, when you haven't seen me in 5 years, your body will be thanking me.
Right.
It's true. It's also why I don't teach Olympic lifting. I don't want to go hurt people because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Right.
It's really exactly what you said. You have to prepare the people, and there's some clients, they're going to want to jump in. They're going to want to do, burpee, kettlebell clean, swing, overhead, throw, toss in the air, 360, catch it with their feet, handstand, push-ups. But they need to realize there's a foundation that needs to be laid. So how do you usually guide people through that?
I think that this is something that's come with experience and confidence in my own abilities, and the ability to say no to a client and say, I understand that's what you want to do, but we're going to mix in a little of what you like to do and want to do with what I know that you need to do. And you're kind of, by hiring me, you're surrendering a lot of that responsibility to me in my experience, and here's why we're going to do it. So if you're able to do that, I mean, I just talked about a hip hinge pattern. If you do an assessment with somebody and they tell you that they've worked in IT and they've been a programmer for the last 12 years, you know that they're going to have some issues with the shoulders, the neck. Their hips are going to be a mess. There's going to be some work that needs to be done there. So I tell them that up front, and I tell them in a way, and I said, look, you want to lose 30 pounds, you want to do this and that, whatever the goals may be. We can do that, but we're also going to do some work that may seem mundane and boring, but it's going to be done laying a foundation for other things that we can do in the future. And after a week or two of teaching people how to move and stretch properly for them, that's their homework assignment. That's what I like to do, to give them their homework and then have them come in and do that as part of a warm-up while you may be getting other people going, or you can keep an eye on them and see if they're doing it properly, if they're progressing, if their movement is getting better. But laying that foundation, and it's intimidating. A client comes in and they're going to write a check for a couple $1,000s, and they want this, and this, and you can go through an assessment with them, and that they're not ready to do that. You have to be able to say, nope, you're not ready for that, and here's why, and here's what we'll do, and here's how we get there.
Yeah, and I think 95% of the time they appreciate it. And 5% they'll walk out the door. They'll find somebody else to punish them.
And better that they walk out now than some other time, because it's going to happen. It'll be a bigger mess after you've been working with them, and you could be dealing with an injury. You could be dealing with, who knows? At some point, your plumber comes over to fix a leaky toilet. You don't start telling him how to do it. You're hiring him because you want the toilet to be fixed. So it's a similar way. But I kind of liken it to teaching, that everybody has an opinion on how their kids should be taught in school, or how a teacher should act, because we all have experience with education. We all have experience with fitness or our own bodies, or athletics or exercise on some level. So we all have some preconceived notions, and part of that professionalism and confidence has to come from being able to, say, I know you may have heard that on TV, or I know you heard that on the radio. That's not really how I do things. I don't even really believe it's correct. Be that as it may, here's how we're going to go.
Got to lay down the truth. Take your medicine.
Yep, take the medicine.
Dr. Oz just came to mind.
Good old Dr. Oz. We could have a whole podcast on him.
We
should have him on sometime.
We should. I would agree.
I'll call up Nemeth and I'll be like, yo, man, we got to get you on the podcast. But anyway, I got his number. No, I'm joking. Of course I don't. But I did want to get into a little bit of kind of teaching clients, because there's some clients that are going to work with you forever. You know, they already know how to program for themselves, they know how to do everything. But how do you, Jeff, how do you teach clients to eventually teach themselves? Do you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, because at some point, you know, be it 6 months or 12 months or 18 months, like we can kind of teach everyone everything that we need them to know, and then they're off on their own. So, I mean, I've had clients that have worked with me for 7, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. So with these people, it's a matter of knowing, you know, what they like. And the reason that they keep coming back is because they don't want to think about it. They don't want to have to think about programming. They want to come in and get a good workout. For them, it's a matter of finding out what makes them tick on their own. I mean, I've one client, and she comes in and she wants like a new basic workout to do on her own every 6 or 8 weeks. She's going to say she's bored, and I give it to her, and then she goes off, and then we do our sessions, and she comes in and does her work, and then she needs that one thing. I've got somebody else that I'm constantly pulling the reins back on, who's researching and finding stuff and emailing me and saying, this looks cool. What do you think about this? I'm like, no, stop.
Right.
Cut it out. So again, it's a very individual thing. I mean, I think ideally I would like to let people lead them in a direction that they already like. If someone enjoys running, then get them on a running centric program and you know, see if they want to try trail running. Get them in that route. You know, something that can expand them in that direction. If someone likes kettlebells, you know, find something, a good resource for them to research and do, or help them, or you learn something new yourself, you're confident in teaching them, and then take them in that direction. The more we can get people into something that they like, the more they're going to stick with it. And then that's when they start to learn. And the cool part is when they bring you things on their own that they found through their own research. Hey, what do you think about this? So, you know, those kind of the cool things. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. And I think having somebody do a sport or something they enjoy is important, you know. And if they like doing work, if they like working out, if they don't, you know, enjoy sports, kind of like I'm not a big sport guy. I prefer to hit the gym. But you know, if they enjoy sports, like I love seeing the carryover that clients tell me about. They're like, wow, I was so much faster. I felt lighter. I could score goals. I'm just like, that's awesome. Like, just keep doing that, you know?
I had one guy that was really into disc golf, frisbee golf, which is like one of the least strenuous exercise workouts in the world. But, you know, he told me that he told me that he would go play with his friends, and he's like, I'm better. I can throw the disc back. I'm like more controlled. Like everything's better. And he was really excited about that. You know, he's like, I want to play more now. So on this guy's days off now, he's more motivated to get out and move more because he's seeing better results from it. So there's a huge win there. Even though we weren't doing anything directly, we just made his body move better and function better. But he's going to go out and play more disc golf now, which means he's moving more. He's outside more. He's getting more fresh air. All of those are great things.
Totally.
Agreed.
Now, Brian, I've got a few more questions. Do you want to jump in anything that's been said, or?
No, I have at it, man.
All right. So this is more from a trainer's angle. What resources have you used, like certifications, courses, books, that you've found really helpful in your practice?
You know, I started off, I had an ISSA certification. I went through ACE, and then the NSCA was the last one. So those were the kind of the certification path that I followed. I go back to like some really classic, in my opinion, classic middle of the road, down the road type things. Yeah. You know, that I end up doing, like guys like Dan John, I love, you know, Pavel, the guys that they seem timeless. They give advice that sometimes seems boring and mundane, but then they don't go off on these silly tangents that take you in places that are just ridiculous, you know? So, I mean, you know, even the websites that I looked at when I was younger and as a beginning trainer have all like become supplement, you know, warehouses and just vehicles to sell their ridiculous supplements. So I don't find a lot online, but some of the classic books, you know, guys like Dan John or Pavel, those guys that I consistently look to, even check that, you know, like the stuff that you guys learn at the Czech Institute, again, is timeless stuff, and it's all it's all principle-based things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of strategies in there and a lot of very detailed work, but if there's a principles behind it that are timeless, that never go away, about how the body moves and operates. And those are the things that as trainers, we always have to remember to instill in our programs and our clients, and everything else is just kind of a detail.
Yeah, I mean, the detailed stuff really is for more of, taking somebody who's at the 99th percentile to the 100th percentile, whereas, you can really work with the foundational stuff for, every average Joe. And I mean, for me, I don't work with, elite level, pro athletes or Olympic athletes. Like, that's just not my wheelhouse. You got to go somewhere else. So, just getting people moving more, and
You're exactly right. Yeah, and those are the things that you introduce a client to some of that literature, and you have someone read, a book that Dan John writes about training, and half of it's philosophy, and Zen philosophy, and Buddhist philosophy, and
right.
philosophy, and there. So people read it and they're like, I thought it was a fitness book. And we're like, well, it kind of is, but it's about life too, and it's all rolled into one. And so those are the things I gravitate towards. I do like to keep a pulse on what's happening in the industry, even the ridiculous fads that we see, because I feel like I hate being blindsided by that stuff when someone comes in on, it was something that they saw on the Today Show in the morning that I didn't see. So I try to keep a pulse on that. So I feel like I'm just trying to stay ahead of the story and let people know that, yes, ladies, you can handle more than a 2-pound dumbbell, because that comes up every year once or twice, and whatever other ridiculous stuff is on the news that day.
Yeah, or somebody comes in holding 2 shake weights and you're just like, oh, man.
I'm like, really? Again?
Have you guys seen this thing? They're like 2-pound weighted balls things that you put on your hands and your feet, and then you like move your hands on the floor around and roll around on those things. You guys seen that at all?
Yes,
No.
I did see. I think I saw a promo video for it.
Yeah.
But it looked half ridiculous, half futuristic, and
Right.
I couldn't decide. And then I just couldn't pay attention anymore, so I shut it off.
Then I went and did some squats.
There's always going to be something. There was that.
There's always a new fad, and
there's that mouth shaper. I was going to get Brian one of those. You stick it in your mouth, and it's got the fins on the sides.
It's like a body blade for your mouth.
Yeah.
How great is that? Someone was sitting there. They're like, "I gotta do some R&D on this idea. Let me do some product. What sort of plastics are we going to use?" It was like the first gym I ever worked at. There was that there's always like a crate in the corner with like the odds and ends and like the stray clip that doesn't have a match. All that
treasure
stuff.
chest.
Exactly. There was a Thigh Master in there. And someone bought the Suzanne Summers Thigh Master.
Wow.
Probably some of the audience is too young to remember that. Just look it up on YouTube. You'll have a great laugh.
Late 80s, people.
There you go. And but there was one in there, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, can we get rid of this? Like,
what the hell is this thing?
Let's just send it to the plastic burial dump in the sky, and just say it was a bad idea and move on. And just move on with it. So yeah, I mean, there's like I said, I try to stay on top of the trendy stuff, because it seems like just as big a part of working with someone new is sort of debunking all the stuff, the trendy stuff that you have to do every year that comes out that people are just trying to sell a product with.
Yeah, and every once in a while, one of those new products is actually, it has a practical purpose and is worth a shit.
Yeah.
But they're pretty far and few between it, and I really kind of want to drive that home to our non-trainer audience that, most of these things are fads and just are not going to get you the results that you really want.
I mean, the TRX was new at one point, and Jungle Gym, and those were tools that, in a small gym or training studio can replace thousands of dollars equipment and work more effectively with a small group of people. And those are great tools, but they were new at some point too. So you have to keep your mind open and to those ideas, like you said.
Absolutely. Great to take on the road with you in your hotel room.
Amazing tools. Really great tools. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's the fundamentals that really, they've been around forever, and they've been around forever because they work. I mean, they're not sexy. Like squats and rows, most people will prefer to go on a a treadmill or one of those lat pull down machines. I'm not saying those are bad, but squats and rows are probably the two things most people need, and they have no idea what they are or how to do them. So fundamentals aren't sexy, but you need them. You got to take your medicine, kids.
Yeah, absolutely right. And look at, just using TRX or Jungle Gym, like what are those? Those are tools that answer a problem that people have to do rows, squats, body weight stuff to make your body weight more challenging, and that it's a tool to get us to working better with our fundamentals.
Totally.
Absolutely. So, Jeff, if you could give one piece of practical training advice to all of our listeners, what would it be, and why would you pick that particular piece of advice?
That is a great question. I would say, I think that the one thing that I always remember is that everything works until it doesn't. I don't remember who quoted that. That might have been a Dan John one.
It was Einstein. Every quote Einstein? is Einstein.
If I ever meet Dan John, I'll let him know that I'm mistaking him for Einstein, or we're just going to throw all the quotes into the Einstein bucket. But training programs, any training program you start, if you do it the right way and with enough intensity, will work, and then it doesn't, and you have to switch. And the plateau that everyone struggles with is not a mystery. It's just a matter of changing things up intelligently. But then the flip side of that is that you have to stick with something long enough to see it work. And so you can't be the guy or gal that jumps from program to program to program. Those are the flip side of both things.
So you're saying each month's muscle mag workouts, I shouldn't just keep changing them every month?
You should do the bicep workout every month.
Okay. All right. Sun's out, guns out.
Curls for the girls.
Five different curl exercises, hit those biceps from every different angle, because we know how many different things that muscle group does. It doesn't just close an angle on the elbow. There's so much more.
It's a functional movement. If I had to choose one movement for my arm, it would probably be, closing it. So
there you go.
That's how you bring a beer to your mouth and also
pick your nose.
The channel. Yep.
Well, I mean, those are two really good points there. So,
really? They are?
I think we should all collaborate, create the ultimate bicep workout. 10 different exercises, 10 sets of each exercise, and about 10 reps of each exercise for each set.
The 10-10-10 program?
The 10-10-10,
bicep program.
All right. That comes up when you just start brainstorming. So it sounds like you guys goofing around, but we just revolutionized something.
All right. Coming to a muscle mag near you.
We're going to implement the shake weight into our program for this.
And the tug toner. Don't forget the tug toner. We're going to have to include links to the tug toner. I got to write that down. Oh, God.
Of course you're going to put that on Jeff's podcast.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say recommended by Jeff. And I'm going to have an affiliate link to it. It's going to be great.
Go for it.
So Jeff, what are you working on in your practice right now to better yourself with?
I'm doing a couple different things. One is I just studying the Wim Hof method. Or not, breathing method of breathing, which I'm finding fascinating, and not only how the breathing aspect in terms of sort of calming and meditative aspects, but the way that it teaches breathing through workouts, and the way that you realize how poorly you breathe throughout the day, and how little oxygen you're actually getting in your system throughout the day, and how you can use that to to really tap into your core strength. Is a way I think that it's sort of a hidden area that we can explore as trainers for our clients. Like I said, not just for the mental benefits, but for the actual physiological benefits of squatting, deadlifting with that core. The more you breathe properly, the better that core is going to function. So I'm really interested in that right now.
Right on. Have you taken the ice showers yet?
I have. Now I
How
kind
is
of do
that?
it in a way. Well, I do my shower and I'll get the hot water going. Then I turn it cold, as cold as I can for maybe a minute or two, and then I'll finish up with a hot shower. Maybe in the summertime I'll go straight to the cold shower. But man, on those days when you're leaving and it's 8 degrees out, like I feel like I'm braving enough for that yet. So I'm not there. I'm a work in progress.
The scene from, what was it, 40-Year-Old Virgin, where he's yelling, Kelly Clarkson comes to mind with the cold showers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's okay to do it in the. I found it very invigorating to do in the middle of a shower, but to do my morning shower strictly as a cold shower in February in Michigan, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
No.
Me too.
Yeah, me three. I mean, I love cold showers. They're fantastic. They can really invigorate your nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
But when you don't live in Florida or California, yeah, it's a bit different.
God, I saw this video the other day. I think it was a Russian guy. He puts a barbell on his shoulders, walks out into a frozen lake where there's this great big thing of ice cut out, and starts doing squats in this frozen water, and then walks out.
Yeah, he goes like fully under, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's hardcore. That's way beyond my no thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tough, but there's no way. You win, buddy. I'm not.
Right. If it was a
actually
competition, you win.
It's actually my assessment for new clients. I have them go out to Lake Ontario over here, just get a barbell on their backs and have them walk in. If they don't come out, they're not ready to work with me yet.
Totally functional. Totally functional.
Totally.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah. I haven't had any lawsuits yet, but I think that's because they're all still at the bottom of the
They're
ocean.
in the bottom of the lake. Everybody's down at the bottom of the lake still, yeah.
Usually it's cars and tires, but in Toronto it's Claude's clients.
Yeah, it's my clients under barbells. It kind of keeps them down there.
CoachClaude.com. Make sure to book your appointment now.
It's being like overwhelmed with traffic. People are signing up for free consults. Right
Yeah,
now.
it just crashed. Even though we haven't released the episode yet, it just crashed. That's insane.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going in that downward spiral.
And on that note, Jeff, do you currently work with any kind of coaches or mentors for health, fitness, or any other area of your life?
Yeah, I work with, I have a business coach that I work with in a group setting. Dan Meredith is a guy from the UK. He's a psychotic British man that I love.
He's awesome.
He's a great dude. And then, I work with, on and off, I think just through the community online, I end up, touching base with a lot of people in terms of mindset, meditation, training, like Brian, you and I, oh, hey, we're both trainers, like, bouncing ideas off of each other. You see someone that's doing something and you think that's really cool. You want to learn more about it, and you end up touching base. And before you know it, you're talking with them. So, yeah, I mean, the online community is so expansive and vast that you can find anything you want, good or bad, out there.
Yeah, I like how you added the also.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So watch yourself.
Yeah. Make sure you order your waist trainers only off of my website. They're
That's
the
right.
real ones, and also
get the affiliate link, right?
yeah, with the detox tea. Double.
Again, we as trainers, we make light of this, and unfortunately, I'm in a few Facebook groups that, like, somebody will come onto the group and genuinely they don't have a clue about fitness, they don't have a clue about nutrition. Hey, I need help with this, and they just get bombarded with, like, literally 50. Oh, I've got this detox tea to help you lose weight. I've got this program to help you lose weight, and it's really sad to see.
That's upsetting.
Everybody hawking products at these people that just they genuinely don't have a clue. And really, I can't stress it enough. If you're looking to get into health, fitness, lose weight, whatever else, seek out either a local professional, or there are areas where you can find people that do the online training, like Jeff and myself. That there are people out there to help you, and the majority of these products are supplements at best. Many of them do more harm than good. So I just want to make that perfectly clear.
I've also found that you post something online. I'm sorry, Claude.
No, it's all good.
The people post something online, and with trainers, there's almost, and it's like chumming the water, and the sharks are like jumping all over. It really is,
exactly.
You know, and I've noticed that with the trainers and the coaches that I really respect, they tend to, rather than, I can help you, let's jump on a call, here's my website, check me out, I can do this, you need to do that, and they start throwing advice. You'll always see one or two, the people I really respect will ask a few questions and try to help this person gain some clarity, because generally it's like, I needed to lose 30 pounds, can anyone help me? Or I need to lose weight, I'm lost, can someone help me? And then the sharks jump, and then you'll find one or two people in there, and it's generally the people that I usually respect that'll say, get more clear, why, what is, they'll start asking a few questions, and they really stand out. So that's something that you want to sort of, for the listening audience that is looking for help online, there's going to be two kinds of it that come to you, and generally there's the better comes in the form of some questions that help you gain clarity about what you're looking for.
That's a fantastic point.
Yeah, and to my point I was going to make earlier, psychologically it can be super demotivating for people trying these teas, these pills, these potions, these Thigh Masters, and they're not seeing any results, and they just think nothing works, and they start blaming themselves, and then it's just pretty much a downward spiral. So I'd like to see more people taking responsibility and going that route, asking questions, really seeing why this person wants to change and what in their life has caused them to get to a point where they're not at their goal.
Right. Yeah. And you've also got to look at what health issues do you have? Just because generally health issues come along with obesity, and so you always have to look at, how's the metabolism working? How are your internal organs functioning? Because there's a direct correlation there.
Yeah, are you on Synthroid?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, big time. But Jeff, we'd like to be respectful of your time.
I would.
And, well, yeah.
So maybe.
Brian, you can bombard Jeff. I can just get off the call. I'll go, grab myself a coffee, maybe go get a back rub. I'll come back on, and we can finish this thing up.
Perfect.
But, actually, Brian, is there anything you'd like to do before we get into our wrap-ups?
No, actually, I was just going to jump right into the wrap-ups.
Oh, baby, you read my mind.
Let's do it. Hit me.
All right.
I have no response to that, but so
Sorry,
Jeff, if you had to rescue 3 books from a fire, what books would they be? They can be any subject at all.
Good question. There's one that I always go back to. It's called As a Man Thinketh. It's by I think it's James Allen.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, and it was written probably
3,000 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah, it's older than dirt, but it's an easy read, but it's a very classic sort of personal responsibility, and it's not the normal positive thinking hogwash. It's a very sort of inspiring read about looking at yourself and how you're handling your affairs and what you're doing to improve your lives of those around you. So that would be one. Wow, only 3.
Boy, you can choose more than
5, 10. Feel free.
You've got a handful of books to take off with you. There is a book that I got as a gift a long time ago called Team of Rivals. It's about Lincoln and his cabinet that he assembled. And his cabinet was made of essentially a bunch of people that disagreed with him from the opposite sides of the political party. And it's a fascinating read about listening to the viewpoints of others and using their viewpoints to either challenge your own beliefs and change, or to strengthen your own beliefs. So that was one that has always stuck with me.
I love the idea of that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's an interesting book. It's not obviously a book about Lincoln. It's going to be pretty thick, and it's not an overnight reader. That was one, and then one I'm reading right now is about vulnerability, called Daring Greatly by Brene Brown, which has been a great book, and about courage and sort of being courageous in ways that you wouldn't think. So those are three. I'll give you those three off the top.
Beautiful. Definitely
Awesome.
Have to check those out.
Brene Brown, that rings a bell.
She's done a couple TED Talks. She's done some podcasts.
She's a vulnerability expert.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I watched her TED Talk. Yeah, The Power of Vulnerability, I think.
Mm-hmm. That's her.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, those are great. She's got a couple books. Those are great. You know what? I'll throw in one other one here now that you've
ignited the fire.
Yes, now that I'm thinking through it clearly. Don Miguel Ruiz wrote a book called The Four Agreements, which is an excellent read. It's a fantastic book. He also wrote one called The Mastery of Love, which is about the Toltec philosophy, which is, if you're into philosophical stuff, it's fascinating it's a very fascinating read, and it'll sort of make you think about how you see and view your own life. It's basically says it's a setup of how you view your life through the stories you've learned from other people. So that's an interesting one. Four Agreements is good also. And on that note, we'll no more books because I can talk about them for hours.
There's something to be said for reading a fair bit. So, but now
makes you a nerd.
That's true. I guilty. I have the 4 eyes to prove it, but anyways.
That's why I don't read, Brian. That's why I don't read. I get all my my information on Facebook.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Keep it simple.
That's right. Kiss. It's the KISS method.
Simple is his middle name.
Ignorance is bliss, my friend.
Right. Now, Jeff, I know you already mentioned the Wim Hof method, but do you have any other kind of current areas of study that you're kind of geeking out on?
I'm really fascinated with getting back to when I started training. I just started training in a powerlifting gym. And so that's always sort of been a theme that's run through my programming. And I'm just getting back into a bunch of my older Jim Wendler, Louis Simmons, Westside Barbell stuff with like looking at it as what concepts here are applicable to the average person that has a life and a family, and what can we take out of that. I think there's some interesting things that they've done there. What can we take out of those lessons for competitive powerlifters that we can use in the average Joe's program to help them every day. So it's interesting. I kind of cycle back, every once in a while, and I'm like, man, I haven't read this in a long time. I haven't looked through this in a long time. It's like looking through an old training log from 10 years ago. You're like, wow, this is cool. I forgot about this. I should do that. So you kind of get really excited about some of this stuff.
Cool. So what would be, one or two of the things that kind of come to mind that translate from heavy duty powerlifter to average Joe?
Yeah. Here, the first one I think of is something that no one ever does, in the average Joe fitness realm is a max effort day and a dynamic effort day. So if you want to work on one lift, and or you just are like you need to change something up. I'm going to work on my squat. So I'll squat on Monday, and I'm going to go heavier on Monday, and then I'm going to squat again on Thursday or Thursday or Friday, whenever I'm going to work out. But I'm going to go lighter on the weight and more volume and make sure my technique is good. So that sort of focus would be great for the average person, because, over the course of 12, 16 weeks, you could go through 3 or 4 major lifts and make progress, but just be focusing on one thing and totally shake your program up.
Okay.
Yeah, and it works for the monsters at Westside Barbell. So
you're not going to be squatting 1,000 pounds. I'll tell you that right now, unless you get outside assistance. But the concepts are interesting to think about for the average person.
For sure, and also all the accessory work that they use in powerlifting, I think, is fantastic, phenomenal.
And it's a great way to think because most people aren't exposed to powerlifting programs. They get exposed to bodybuilding programs. CrossFit is everywhere now, so there's a lot of different theories, but people don't really get what assistance work is. We do because we use it, but the idea of a deadlift can be used as a back exercise. Like, what? That's crazy. What do you mean? That kind of thing. And then setting a program up. So if I'm squatting to say, well, talking about assistance work, what does that mean? How does that work in a regular program? Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yep. And Brian, can we bleep out the C word that Jeff mentioned earlier?
Yeah, I can make that happen.
I was trying to be nice. I threw a bone there.
We're not nice.
You literally caught me for a second. I'm like, which C word?
And he's like, Claude's being a dick again.
Right.
I'll cut to the chase. CrossFit's stupid. Don't do it. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. Your shoulders, your knees are gonna die
instantly. I mean, there are some exceptions to the rule,
yes,
but very far and few in between. It's like you might get 1 out of 100 boxes that have good coaching, good on-ramps,
yes,
people that are watching you do your exercises.
Right.
The other ones are just meat grinders. Holy shit. It's like
deadlifts for max deadlifts for time is not a smart exercise.
For reps, right?
Ever.
Yeah, you mean doing 50 deadlifts in a row
is a great way to slip a disc, in all seriousness, people.
I would say that everything works in context. That doesn't. It just doesn't. Like, there's no context in which you can tell me, okay, you're going to do 50 deadlifts. Well, why?
With 1 RM weight.
If there's any chiropractors listening, if you open up a studio next to a CrossFit gym, you will never be worried about money or where your next paycheck's coming from.
That's
a good idea.
Yeah. Anyway, enough shitting on CrossFit. I'm sure we're going to get some people throwing some 1RM fucking Molotov cocktails at our servers. But
wow. Probably.
Yeah, or
send
flipping
hate
tires.
Mail to Claude at theoptimumhuman.com.
Damn it. Oh, that actually is my email. Okay, yes. Well, have fun, guys. I'll have weird Russian viruses on my computer now. But next question, Brian.
So, Jeff.
Smooth segue.
Yeah, right. Very smooth as, yeah.
Smooth as sandpaper. Got it.
Jeff, who would you like to hear on this podcast, and what would you like to ask them, or what would you like to hear them talk about?
I'm going to go back to my guy, Dan John. That would be a great guest to have on here. And I would like him to know where he sees our industry in 20 years. Because he's a guy that's been around. He's been a coach, like a high school athletic coach. He's been a trainer. He's trained and taught at very high level. He's been an athlete. He's been around for a long time. I'd love to know where he sees the industry going. And I mean, Pavel would be a great one to have on too. I don't think he does a ton of interviews, but
does he speak English? And that's a genuine question because I'm not.
Yeah, he speaks pretty good English. Okay. He used to say "comrade" a lot more. But,
I think he still has enough of that accent, so that he's rock. He's business. Like when you hear that accent, it's business.
Right. And also he'll call you out. He'll be like, "Brian, that is a stupid question. Hang your head in shame. Go drink a bottle of vodka. Repent." But no, like I could just see Dan John saying something like cyborgs are going to take over, and he'd be completely right. You're going to have a cyborg trainer or something that has they've got built-in app. What's that app where you can correct people's form in real time? Oh God, it's like Fitness Eye or something, and you can draw lines to see if they're straight or not. But anyway, I'm rambling. I'll put it in the show notes.
No, you would never do that, Claude.
No, that's true. I don't ramble. Everything I say is magic.
All right.
Sticking with it.
Wow. Now, Jeff, if you could have a billboard anywhere, what would you put on it, and what would you put on it? Where would it be?
Boy, it would have to be like downtown Detroit, and it would have my face on it, and it would just say, "I'm awesome." No.
The bullet holes commence.
right.
I love that answer.
How hilarious would that be? Like if you had the money just to put your face up because you were just like going to troll an entire metro population.
Elon Musk, I would do it.
Yeah, except that the reason that we're not Elon Musk is we think of this and he's like building rocket ships. And
Right.
He's actually digging a tunnel underneath California so he can drive to work without traffic. That's what he's doing. I shit you not. He shared a.
I'm pretty sure he sleeps at work, but
I mean, I think what I think that we could all stand to be a little bit nicer to each other. I think that would be something I'd put on a billboard, and I
thought you were talking about us three.
Oh, us? No, that would make for terrible. That would make for a terrible podcast.
That's true.
Yeah, shut up, Brian.
Fair enough. I'm gonna mute myself now.
Good.
Just kidding.
Of course you are. So anyway, people should be nicer to themselves, and
others.
And did we get a billboard answer on that?
Be kind. Period.
Be kind. Period. All right. I like that.
With a small picture of Jeff's face.
Yeah, I think there has to be one.
No, because then people would want to throw things. They'd be like,
his face could be the period. How about that? You have to look really closely to realize it's
interesting. You completely lost it now. But
it's absolutely. We lost it a long time ago, Jeff. Let's be real. How can our listeners, if there are any left, find out more about you and
First,
and
congratulations for making it through all this, right?
The gauntlet.
Yeah,
pretty much.
You can find me on Facebook. It's facebook.com Jeff Nemeth, Nemeth, and by the time this hits the iTunes, website will be up, which was jeffnemeth.com. So real simple.
Awesome.
Perfect. And do you have a something to offer our listeners?
Like an optimum human?
Yeah, like we are. If you go to my website, there will be at the top there will be the link to the podcast. And if you click there, well, I'll take you to a page where you can put your email address in. We'll send you a 3-day video course on how to use a morning routine which I mentioned a little bit here today, but to improve your existence, put it that way. But to 3 things that you can do in the morning that'll take you less than 20 minutes that will help you improve your entire day and sort of take control back of your day.
Yeah, there's been kind of a recent theme of morning routines and really setting up your day for success and happiness and all that. So I think this is going to be a fantastic thing for our listeners to check out.
Oh yeah,
it's a big thing. I'm really excited about people doing this work.
Beautiful. Well, Jeff.
Wait, Brian, not yet. Okay. I might be out to lunch, but did we ask our optimum human question?
No, you didn't.
We did not.
Oh.
I'll bet it's on Brian's list too, isn't it?
No, it's not actually.
It's in his head list, which is sometimes empty.
Yeah, it's a little yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what? We always have a tradition of forgetting something, so
that means it's real. That means the whole thing is very real.
Yeah. Yeah, unlike the moon
not scripted, it is all wow. So, Jeff, who is the first person that comes to mind, or what are the principles or attributes that come to mind when you hear the optimum human?
Excellent question, because I don't think the optimum human exists, because we're all by the very definition of being human means that we're flawed in some ways. I think the optimum human is someone who is better each day than they were the day before in the main areas of their lives. We'll leave it very simple and leave it open for everyone else's interpretation that way.
I like it. I like simple.
Claude inspired me with the kiss.
I've been called simple, so I like simple things. The KISS is actually a great method. Also, for any trainers out there, the KISS method's fantastic. It saves your brain quite a bit of effort sometimes. But anyway, Jeff, thank you very much for coming on, man. It's been a blast. I'm personally and shamelessly am going to go check out that video series.
Awesome.
Yeah. And Brian, I think he's actually muted himself because
I'm just sitting back here shaking my head, going, "Oh my God, what did I get myself into?"
Yeah. So he's really happy over there.
Jeff, it was an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Definitely have to grab lunch again soon. And any final thoughts, requests, asks, pieces of advice for our listeners before we end this circus?
Have fun. We don't take any of this too seriously. We're not getting on. No one gets out alive. So let's have some fun while we're here. And the stuff that I think we do, all of us on a daily basis, is just designed to help people have more fun throughout their daily lives.
Yeah, that's, dude, like, you're completely right. People have forgotten how to play and how to have fun. So I think that's a great way to end it. And I think we have fun on this podcast sometimes. So
we do.
We're not just sticks in the mud,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you for listening, all the listeners who are left. We appreciate you making it this far. If you want some sort of reward, too bad you're not going to get one. But catch us next time. And Jeff, Brian, I'll talk to you guys later.
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks for listening to the Optimum Human Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to head on over to iTunes and give a 5-star rating and review, which will help spread the word to more awesome listeners just like you. Head on over to theoptimumhuman.com and subscribe to the free newsletter and get the Optimum Human's Blueprint to the Optimum Life. Download it instantly. Thanks for listening.